Ever stop to think about those really small parts, the tiny components working away silently that, well, basically keep our modern world running?
Mm.
Things that make sure your car doesn't leak or planes stay pressurized or huge industrial machines operate safely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, we're diving into exactly those things. The unsung heroes, you might say.
Mm.
Seals and gaskets.
That's a good way to put it.
And our mission really is to unpack the surprising market trends, the incredible growth of this global industry, using some fascinating insights from cognitive market research.
Right. And they are fascinating because at their core, seals and gaskets, well, they're these precisely made components, but their job is critical. Stop leaks, keep pressure right, and, help hold machinery together stably.
Simple concept, but vital.
Exactly. Think about it. A bad seal in your engine, that's messy, expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Or a dodgy gasket in a pharma plant could ruin a whole batch, shut things down. They really are everywhere.
Yeah.
Faucets, jet engines, you name it.
So we're seeing them across the board. Automotive, aerospace, definitely oil and gas manufacturing, even down to tiny electronics.
Pretty much anything that contains a fluid or gas or needs components joined reliably and the demand driver. It's not just about more seals, it's about better ones. Reliable, efficient, especially under tough conditions.
Extreme environments, you mean?
Precisely, like inside a chemical plant or deep sea equipment or even spacecraft. You've got high pressures, really high temperatures, maybe corrosive stuff.
Right.
A tiny leak there isn't just annoying, it could be disastrous. So that really pushes innovation in materials, advanced polymers, special metals, composites, things designed to just work flawlessly under incredible stress.
Okay, so let's try to grasp the sheer scale of this quiet giant, as you called it. Cognitive market research puts the global market value at, get this, $56.772 billion back in 2021.
Already huge.
Huge. And it's not stopping. They project it hitting $67.788 billion by 2025.
Wow.
And then, looking further out, extending to a massive $96.647 billion by 2033.
That's significant growth. Really significant.
It is. It points to a consistent compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 4.5%.
Yeah, and what's really insightful there, I think, is how steady that growth is. It suggests this fundamental, almost invisible reliance that's actually increasing.
Right.
That 4.5% CAGR isn't just a number on a page. It speaks to, a deeper global trend. More industrialization, more complex technology, higher performance demands everywhere. Everything needs to be more robust.
But where's this growth actually happening? I mean, geographically. Let's zoom in on the regions, because that's where it gets really interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The regional breakdown tells a great story.
Okay, North America, for instance. Still a major market, right? Over $13.5 billion in 2021, projected to grow to over $21.5 billion by 2033.
Solid number.
And the U.S. is, well, predictably the big player there. Huge manufacturing base, aerospace, automotive.
Makes sense.
Canada and Mexico also showing steady growth, adding quite a bit to that regional total. Then across the Atlantic in Europe, also very strong. Over $15.7 billion in 2021, heading towards $25 billion plus by 2033.
Yeah, Europe's industrial heartland is key here.
Definitely. You've got Germany, the UK, France leading the way, significant contributions, but also Italy, Russia, Spain, showing broad industrial needs across the continent. Even smaller, high-tech economies like Switzerland and Sweden are notable.
A very established but still growing market.
But the real powerhouse, it seems, is Asia-Pacific.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the biggest numbers are.
Already the largest regional market back in 2021, nearly $18.8 billion. And it's projected to almost double, hitting a staggering $34.165 billion by 2033.
That's huge acceleration.
It really is. China is just, well, leading that charge massively. Huge manufacturing, massive infrastructure projects driving demand.
Yeah, the scale there is incredible.
Japan is strong, too, with its advanced industries. And India shows really robust growth, set to more than double its market size by 2033. That points to major industrial expansion.
Definitely a key growth story there.
And you also got South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Southeast Asia. It's widespread, rapid growth across the entire region.
It paints a picture of dynamic industrial development across APAC.
Okay, let's quickly touch on the others. South America projected to see strong growth, too, from about $4.2 billion up to nearly $7.9 billion by 2033. Brazil's the leader there.
Driven by resources and growing manufacturing.
And the Middle East, heavily influenced by oil and gas, but also infrastructure. growing from almost $2.9 billion to over $5.3 billion. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE are key players.
Yeah, lots of major projects demanding these components.
And finally, Africa. Smaller base, around $1.6 billion in 2021, but forecast to grow to over $2.5 billion by 2033. Nigeria and South Africa leading that growth.
So showing potential as industrialization picks up.
Exactly.
So if you kind of tie all that regional data together, the massive growth in Asia-Pacific, the continued strength in North America and Europe, the expansion elsewhere, it just underscores how universal this need is.
Yeah.
It's not just about making more stuff. It's about making stuff that performs better, lasts longer, works under tougher conditions. It reflects global progress, really.
Okay, so we've seen the scale, the growth, where it's happening.
Yeah.
But what does this all mean for you listening? You probably don't spend much time thinking about seals and gaskets day to day.
Probably not.
But this massive market size, this consistent growth, it tells a really important story about the world we live in, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I mean, think about it. These components are fundamental to almost everything you interact with.
Like what?
Well, the car you drive relies on dozens, maybe hundreds of them. The appliances in your kitchen, the systems delivering your power and water, the factories making your clothes, your food, your phone.
Okay.
Without reliable seals stopping leaks, holding pressure, so much of our modern tech and infrastructure just wouldn't work properly, or safely, or efficiently. They're like the silent guardians keeping things running smoothly.
Right, that hidden infrastructure.
Exactly.
And that increasing demand we talked about, especially for high-pressure, high-temperature applications, that points towards something else too, right? Innovation.
Precisely. It shows engineers are constantly pushing the limits, making engines hotter for efficiency, processes more intense for higher yields, exploring deeper oceans or further into space.
And the seals and gaskets have to keep up.
They have to keep up. That drives constant advances in material science, in design, in manufacturing precision. These seemingly simple parts are actually at the forefront of some pretty advanced engineering.
So we've gone from a $56 billion global market heading towards nearly $100 billion by 2033.
It really is a quiet giant, this industry.
It is.
And it's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that sometimes the smallest, most overlooked parts are the ones driving huge economic activity and enabling incredible technological progress, often completely behind the scenes.
Which, it raises an interesting question, I think. In a world that gets so focused on the flashy, big innovations, the new app, the faster chip, the AI breakthrough.
How often do we actually stop and appreciate the foundational stuff? The often unseen components like seals and gaskets that actually make all that other progress possible? What other hidden heroes are working away tirelessly in your daily life?
That's a great question to ponder. Something to think about maybe next time you start your car or turn on the tap or just look at any complex machine. Maybe a newfound appreciation for the critical unsung roles these fundamental bits play in keeping our whole interconnected high-tech world ticking.
It might even make you curious about other overlooked industries quietly powering everything.
Absolutely. Food for thought.
Okay, let's unpack this. The world of seals and gaskets.
Right. Now, if you're like most people, these are probably the invisible components, sort of our modern world. But for you, who've shared these fascinating sources, we're about to show just how fundamental, how impactful this market truly is, on global industries, safety, even the environment. Our mission today is really to extract the critical insights from the material you've provided. Reveal why these unsung heroes matter so much.
It's really quite remarkable. These components, often unseen, may be seemingly simple.
Yeah.
They're actually the bedrock of industrial efficiency and safety, just absolutely critical to so many aspects of our daily lives, our economy. Understanding them is vital for understanding the infrastructure around us.
That's a perfect way to put it. So diving into the material you've gathered, one of the biggest forces driving market growth, it just jumps right out. Rapid industrialization.
Definitely.
And it's not just anywhere. It's the maybe surprising surge we're seeing in emerging economies. India, China, Vietnam, Brazil. Yeah, and the key insight there, I think, is that these emerging economies aren't just adding general capacity. They're often leapfrogging older tech. They demand advanced, specialized sealing systems right from day one.
Okay.
So we're talking entirely new automotive production lines, advanced food processing facilities, complex chemical plants, cutting-edge pharma manufacturing units. Each one needs precise, specialized sealing.
Right.
Like Take food environments, super hygiene sensitive.
Yeah.
You need food-grade gaskets, maybe FDA-approved silicone or PTFE.
PTFE, that's polytetrafluoroethylene, like Teflon.
Exactly, the very same base material. And then in chemical reactors, you're talking high-temperature seals, stuff that can withstand really extreme conditions.
And it's not just new industrial growth, right? Looking at the energy sector, there's a huge contribution to demand here, too.
Massive.
We're talking everything from, traditional oil and gas, offshore drilling, needing gaskets resistant to incredible corrosion, high pressure,
hmm Very demanding.
all the way to the booming renewable installations. Wind turbines, for instance, they rely on these long life seals for weatherproofing, mechanical stability. They face constant environmental stress.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's really about global investments in upgrading energy assets. That's both fossil fuels and green energy.
Okay.
Plus, the global push for energy security, you see it strongly in the Middle East, North America, Northern Europe. That's actually led to shorter maintenance cycles for existing infrastructure.
Ah, so more replacements needed.
Exactly. It means more frequent replacement orders for gaskets and seals. Creates a continuous demand stream.
Interesting. And it's not just the push for growth shaping this market. There's also a powerful pull from evolving regulations. We're
Yes.
talking stringent environmental safety standards, EPA, OSHA, European REACH. How exactly are these rules reshaping the demand landscape?
Well, it's a fascinating insight, almost counterintuitive. Regulations aren't just hurdles, they're actually powerful engines of innovation in this space.
Really? How so?
Companies that can quickly adapt, say, to new carbon emission standards, they gain a significant competitive edge.
Okay.
In automotive, engine and exhaust systems now need these low permeability sealing materials to hit those strict targets. And in pharma, companies are constantly requalifying sealing products for production lines to meet evolving good manufacturing practices, GMP. Those are rigorous quality standards.
Right, GMP.
So each of these compliance needs opens up significant avenues for manufacturers who can provide certified compliant solutions. It effectively turns compliance into a market differentiator.
So even for components as vital as these, it's not all smooth sailing. The industry faces its own set of significant hurdles.
Definitely.
What are the biggest challenges manufacturers are grappling with right now? From the sources you shared, raw material price volatility seems like a huge one.
Oh, absolutely.
Key materials like nitrile rubber, EPDM, that's ethylene propylene diene monomer, right?
Correct. A common synthetic rubber.
PTFE, graphite, stainless steel, all vulnerable to shifts in crude oil prices, geopolitical tensions, supply chain disruptions.
And the impact is very direct, very real. Manufacturers often have to choose either absorb these price shocks, which hits their margins hard,
Yeah.
or pass those costs on to consumers, which, can really affect their competitiveness. It's a constant balancing act.
And it's not just material costs. We're also seeing the rise of alternative joining technologies. Adhesive bonding, laser welding.
That's another pressure point, yes.
These are being adopted in sectors like automotive, electronics, places where component integration, weight reduction are top priorities. How is that impacting the traditional seals and gaskets market?
Well, it's important to clarify, they're not universally applicable, right?
Okay.
But these newer technologies can eliminate the need for traditional gasket systems in certain specific high-precision applications.
Okay.
So while they won't replace seals everywhere, they do effectively reduce the addressable market for conventional sealing products in those niches, often high-volume niches too. It's definite competitive pressure. Got it. And finally, your sources highlight a concern about a shortage of technical expertise.
Mm-hmm. The big one.
It sounds like designing and applying these critical sealing solutions needs really deep knowledge, material science, engineering experience, especially for high-stakes industries, aerospace, defense, oil and gas.
That's a critical bottleneck. And this skill shortage, it's particularly acute in North America and Western Europe.
Why there specifically?
Well, you have seasoned professionals retiring, and frankly, younger talent often gravitates towards software service sectors, maybe not so much industrial manufacturing.
Right.
And that can lead to slower innovation cycles, maybe extended project timelines for the industry. Makes it harder to meet the demands of these really advanced applications.
Okay, so despite those challenges, it sounds like the seals and gaskets market is definitely innovating for tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's a lot happening.
What are some of the most exciting future trends shaping the industry? I was particularly intrigued by smart sealing solutions. What does that actually look like? Are we really embedding sensors into seals? In a way, yes. This is where our unsung heroes truly start to, well, speak. They transform from passive components into active data sources.
Wow.
These are seals embedded with miniature sensors. They can monitor temperature, pressure, wear, and tear, all in real time. They play a critical role in predictive maintenance systems, allowing companies to foresee failures, reduce unplanned downtime.
Which saves a lot of money.
Exactly. Enables far more cost-effective asset management, industrial users in power generation, process manufacturing, aerospace. They're rapidly adopting these intelligent components. There's a projected 8.5% compound annual growth rate in smart seal applications through 2030.
8.5% CAGR. That's significant.
It's truly remarkable how these traditional components are becoming part of a larger digital ecosystem.
That's a powerful transformation. Another major driver of innovation you mentioned in the sources is sustainability.
Yes, definitely.
Companies investing in bio-based elastomers, recycled rubbers, thermoplastic alternatives. We're seeing examples like seals from castor oil or sugarcane-based polymers.
That's right. Now, there's still a hurdle, admittedly, in matching the extreme performance of some traditional materials, especially in very high heat or corrosive environments.
Okay.
But ESG-driven mandates, green procurement policies, they're expected to strongly support their long-term adoption. It's a clear direction for the industry, even if the transition has complexities. A necessary direction.
And finally, a really transformative trend mentioned is additive manufacturing, 3D printing, integrated into custom gasket production. How is this changing the game? Especially for, say, someone needing a very specific part quickly.
Oh, this is a game changer, especially for maintenance and repair teams. Think defense, marine sectors.
Right.
Additive manufacturing allows for an incredibly fast prototyping and low volume production of complex niche components that were, well, previously difficult or just prohibitively expensive with traditional methods. So when you're sourcing replacements for obsolete parts, maybe for older equipment,
Yeah.
this tech can cut lead times from weeks down to mere days. It drastically reduces costly downtime. It's a huge leap in efficiency and responsiveness.
Sounds like a very competitive space then, with all this innovation. We saw some leading players mentioned. Parker, Freudenberg, SKF, Cooper Standard, Trelleborg.
The big names.
Alongside more specialized providers like Apple Rubber, All Seals Inc.
Right. And these companies, they're employing various strategies, often investing heavily in digital design tools, developing new high-performance elastomer blends, building out sophisticated global service networks. It's clear that in this evolving market, continuous innovation, being agile with regulations, and having really customer-centric service models, those are absolutely key to success.
Well, this deep dive has truly revealed the crucial and ever-evolving nature of seals and gaskets. From seemingly simple, often invisible components, we've seen a high-tech, indispensable market, fundamentally impacting so many aspects of our modern world. It's almost ironic, isn't it? These tiny components are literally holding our modern world together.
Indeed. And maybe consider this, how these seemingly invisible parts undergoing these massive transformations driven by global forces, cutting-edge tech, how they're fundamentally enabling the safety, the efficiency, the sustainability of the world all around us. Makes you wonder, what other unseen industries, quietly foundation to our daily lives, are currently undergoing such profound, future-shaping transformations?